of Jonesboro is reminding those taking care of your property is more than just a recommendation. Our Jake Tester joins us in the studio today. And Jake, tell us more about how this works.
There's an ordinance that if your property has grass or weeds above 1 foot, you could be potentially fined.
It's a very clean look, right, when people mow their yards, and it beautifies Jonesboro. And obviously, code enforcement wants to beautify Jonesboro.
In the city of Jonesboro, keeping grass and weeds in check is not just a recommendation, but the law. An ordinance in place says that all property owners are required to keep plant growth under 1 foot. Jonesboro Director of Code Enforcement Scott Roper said this ordinance is to keep Jonesboro looking clean and even to help with safety, something Jonesboro resident Brandy Barnett agrees with.
Well, it means a lot. You know, Jonesboro is visited by a lot, and it means a lot to not only visitors, and we want people to build up our ability to be able to have recreation around here.
Roper said there are highways such as Red Wolf, Nettleton, Highland, and more that are in the city but do not fall under the city's jurisdiction. Those do not fall under the city's ordinance and are instead managed by the state. But if there is a property that exceeds that mark under the city's jurisdiction, that is when the code enforcement would step in to enforce it.
We'll write a warning, leave it on the door, contact the resident and say, hey, your grass is high, and we usually give them a week to satisfy that complaint.
And in some cases, the warning is not enough. Roper said if the yard is not cleaned up after the warning is distributed, the situation will escalate to a fine. And if the fine is not enough?
In an overgrown grass type case, if it were to end up in court and they still had not gotten that, obviously we have a process in which we can mow the yard, right? And that's what we do, and then we would put a lien on the property.
Over the last 2 months, code enforcement has been enforcing this ordinance at a high level, even if properties were not reported by a resident.
In June, we worked 626 overgrown grass complaints, and then or self-initiated, and then in July it was 495. And I think about 78% of those are generated by the officers, they're not complaint driven.
Now, if you see a property that may be breaking this ordinance, Roper said you can call the code enforcement office or visit the city's website to file the complaint. Reporting in the studio, Jake Tester, K8 News.
Jake, thank you.